I was reading parts of this book recently about the Knights Templar. A couple of interesting things about them. The Star of David, you know, that 6-point star, that was their one of their emblems, you know. Another thing, they were termed like the first capitalists, because they had an international banking system. They called themselves the Poor Brothers of Christ, and yet they had the money was just coming out of their nose. They had so much money, and they established that first international banking system. And I believe that movement right there was the fulfillment of Daniel in the 11th chapter, where it speaks about that the robbers of thy people shall seek to establish the vision, but will fail. Well, why don't we know that these were Jews then? When you speak about mystery, the mystery harlot, mystery means a secret. You know, the mystery religions and all that, they're secret religions. So although Freemasonries are very much out in the open there, the secret of the Jews and what their part in history and different things is not well known, but has been concealed. That's what it is. It's a concealment of their activities. But she was had the Star of David as her symbol, and she was, before the Rothschild, she had the first international banking system and was said to invent capitalism, which is not working hard, you know, and your own yard and your own house for your own family, for your own acreage, whatever God gave to you. It's about money lending. They were the first great money lenders. Actually, the Pharisees were, but yeah, they were known as their great money lending. And the Catholic Church had laws about money lending, but for those Knights Templars, they were exempt from those laws. And it seems to me that at least the Jews were behind them, because the Catholic Church, after the Knights Templars were banned, when they were found out all the satanic activity that was taking place, and they were exiled and they were fled to Scotland. That was the Catholic Church motto. Their two enemies were the Jews and the Freemasons. And in the protocols of the learned elders of Zion, the Jews claim in there that they set up the lodges. They set up Freemasonry. So and Albert Pike, he says it all comes back to the Jewish Kabbalah. So they're running the show, you know. And one point I want to make is that well, let me first say that, yeah, with the inventing of capitalism, that's why we have what we have today. Everyone's in competition with one another. There's no love in the world, except maybe for your own family members. You know, they're on the outside, you know. We compete against them. Well, you try to get along with your neighbors. Some people do. Some people don't, you know. But it's this me attitude. Capitalism invented that. It's all about money. It's not about a community of people loving each other, loving their neighbors, and doing good for each other. And even in kingdoms, the king cared for his own people. Then he loved his own nation. He wasn't trying to screw them like these mystery religions do. And yeah, the other thing I was going to speak about was that does this mean that all the Jewish people are evil? Well, you're born into a religion, you're born into a people. It doesn't mean that you're automatically evil. For instance, from what I gather, my family was Freemason family. I was never told this growing up, but I could see there were certain secret things that they kept hidden. But when I was about 21 years old, my father asked me to join Freemasonry. Nobody knows he's a Freemason. The whole family would deny it. But our grandfather, let I admit, he was a high degree Freemason, or 32nd degree or whatever, you know. But yeah, he asked me to join that. And I found God before he asked me. So I asked him right away. I said, do they believe in killing? Do they believe in fighting for a country's joining the army and all that stuff? And he says, yeah, they do. I said, well, I don't want to join them then. You know, I believe in the Prince of Peace, to love your enemies, to pray for them that persecute you. And that gets hard, you know, especially these days that we're living in. But that didn't mean, see, I was born into the Freemason family, but that doesn't mean I'm a Freemason. And they all keep a secret anyway. You know, nobody's supposed to know. But right away I was exiled. You know, right away I was the enemy. I was cast out as evil for the Son of Man's sake. My family disowned me pretty much. You know, my parents who bore me, they tolerated me. And in fact, I got through to my father. Well, I don't say I did, but God did, working through me in the end, you know. So I love my father. God bless him. I'm sad that he's not around anymore. My mother was a troubled soul, but good meaning also. And so, you know, it's like the Mafia, you know. You don't want to cross those people because you might find yourself dead, you know. But if you grow up into a Mafia family, you know, how is it if you want to leave the family? It's not easy, you know. You got to kind of hide from them because they're always on your tail, you know. So it's trying to hide from them is one of the main things, you know. Because they are criminals, you know. Some people think, well, the Mafia, they're the criminals. The Freemasons are much better, you know. The Mafia was associated with the Italian people, you know, like the Roman Empire. And the Freemasons were associated with the Anglo-American world power, what we have today. And see, that's where it comes in, you see. So it's the Mafia, the Freemasons, the Holy Roman Empire, the United States and Britain and America. But you see how it works, you know. So, you know, those who are in charge now, they like to, you know, dump on the Roman Empire. Oh, the Mafia, they're so mean and everything. But they don't want to tell about how bad they are. But they do it with a hypocrisy and a smile because they hide what they are. The Romans didn't hide it. The Mafia doesn't really hide what they are. You know, they're brutal. Yeah, but they're not so much hypocrites as those who hide what they are constantly. And what do we have today? You know, it's really interesting because when I've been traveling around this last few months, I went to Portland, Oregon. And that place was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. It was just like Sodom and Gomorrah. And you had to agree with them to live there. I don't think anybody could live there that, you know, wouldn't say, oh, well, that's the way they are. And, you know, they taught in the schools that gay is okay. All this garbage, you know, men walking around with pink hair and blue hair. You know, all this sodomite garbage. You just look at them. They look like they came from Sodom and Gomorrah. You know, and I couldn't, it was, I had to get out of there really quick because it makes me angry that the people that I grew up with, this is the kind of children they raised. You know, it's sick. And they killed the good-meaning people who were trying to keep society straight, you know, and on the right track. And, yeah, so in Washington you have Seattle and you have Olympia. Same garbage, same sodomite filth. And in Oregon, you have Portland, and then you have Eugene, which is also the same perverted garbage. Faggots everywhere. Young kids working in stores, dressing up like women. You know, I was in a mall in Olympia, and I think I must have seen 6 men dressed up like women, and some of them working in the different shops there. This is disgusting, man. You gotta be able to be okay with that crap in order to live in a place like that. You know, and I'm not okay with it. And then you go to some way out in the country where they never bought that perverted garbage, even though they're trying to seep it in there. And those people are so afraid of the Freemason rulership upon them that they follow orders. You know, you hate him, and they hate him. You know, if they tell them to hate me, they'll hate me. No questions asked. That's their duty because they're on such a, some places are on such a heavy Freemason hand in some of those smaller country towns, you know. So this is the picture. What do you see? Where do you live? Tell me about your town. I want to hear about what's going on there. Because, man, it's just amazing. No place to run to, man. Things have changed, you know. I don't even know why I'm here anymore. I don't like living in this world anymore. And it comes to me, recalls to my mind the words of Jesus Christ. He that hates his life in this world shall preserve it for eternal life. Because I can't stand it anymore. I don't know what to do anymore. Oh, it's just amazing, you know. But, yeah, so, pretty interesting when you take a look at history behind the scenes, not what you learn in school, but really what's making things happen. Things have not changed that much. See, Jesus lived in the times of the Romans. It hasn't been that long. Things have not changed that much. Out of that Roman came the Holy Roman Empire by Constantine's vision and all that. And we're still living under that influence. Protestantism came out of the Catholic Church. And a lot of that was taken over by the Freemasons. So you see how things worked. It's not that far long ago when Jesus came to this earth. You know, he says, I come quickly. Yes, he's coming. Thank God. But right now it seems like he's coming really soon because of all the filth I see, all the Sodom and Gomorrah garbage. I mean, you see kids like 18 years old acting like girls, little girls. You know, I remember I was in the store the other day, and I didn't even look at the guy because I thought it was a woman, you know. She's, you know, can I help you? I said, no, I'm just looking at this here. I didn't even look at it, whatever it was. And then I looked over and I realized that she had a beard and she had heavy makeup to try to hide the 5 o'clock shadow, or what they call it, or whatever, you know. And I just couldn't believe it. I said, man, this place is too weird. But out in the country, they're at each other's throats too. You know, some of them. And some of them are just scared under the Freemasons' hand. You know, I would like to leave the country, you know. It's just amazing. But we'll see what happens. I pray to God that he directs me in all his ways, that I might do his will. Because he is the greatest, man. There's all joy with God. All love and joy. And he's the only thing I have in this world that I love anymore. It's amazing.